welcome to episode 22 of the movie Lighthouse, shining a light through the fog of film. My name is James.
I'm Laurie.
And I'm Wyndham.
Yeah.
How are we all?
Very
good.
well.
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a Friday.
It is a
Start of the
Friday,
weekend.
It is a Friday, and it's daytime.
and we're sober.
Yeah, we
Are
are.
we?
Yeah, we are. We
It's
wasn't,
only 10
but we
o'clock. So we're not obviously filming. We're not videoing this.
How many
edition.
views did that have?
I mean, we had quite a few in the end. I think we got to
Suitably vague.
well, I
I
haven't
saw a
checked.
couple of people.
About 100 or so. Well, it's not bad.
And can you tell whether they watched it all the way through?
No, they almost
They watched the
certainly
first 5
didn't.
seconds and went,
Yeah.
oh, no, you're
Yeah.
right. Okay.
But because it sent Laurie into like a kind of crazy overdrive, we probably won't be doing it again.
No, we should do that again. Definitely, we should do that again.
Yeah, we did get some comments that I was being way too harsh.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's our thing.
Yeah, that is our thing.
Oh,
isn't
come on. Yeah, exactly.
Can't
Don't be so
start backtracking
sensitive.
from that.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to be a lot nicer.
Oh, don't
it?
start that.
Bloody snowflakes.
All right, shall
That's specifically aimed at the person I know who said
we? Yeah,
that. as well.
yeah.
That's a
Everyone
joke.
who contacts the show, we know all about anyway, don't we?
Snowflakes.
All right, so we got the news.
Hi, hon. How's it going?
Well, I've actually got some correspondence.
Oh.
If I can find it. Although, it's not... Let's see if I've still got it here. Yeah, so I've got some correspondence from me.
Right.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah.
So he's come back. I thought you stopped talking to him.
Okay, so I wrote this. Dear Mr. King, it's been such a long time, so I thought I'd drop you a line to say hello. 22 years ago, I left England for the very first time on a venture to America. I've been accepted as a camp counsellor. As an avid reader of your work, imagine my delight when my co-counsellor told me he knew you.
Whoa.
Throughout that summer, we talked about your books and how they'd influenced me, and I honed my single question towards you. This was to be as follows. As a mega fan, dare I say, your number one fan, I've always loved your books. However, they do not always transpose themselves successfully into film. Why do you think this is? Throughout the summer of '96, I repeated this question whenever your name would come up in discussion. I was reading The Green Mile at the time. Anyway, back to the point. One Sunday afternoon, we were going to watch David play in a soccer match. As we were going to the village store for supplies, he was nearly to crash into me, but your good self. I froze as I watched you walk over to your car. All I could say is, Dave, Dave, Dave. I managed to compose myself and pointed towards you saying, that's him, that's Stephen King, introduce me. David did as requested, and I walked over to say hello. This was it, the big chance to ask the question I've been planning for so long. Here goes. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I'm reading The Green Mile, and I love it. You replied, Englisher, my car's a Jaguar. This is a story I've been telling for years, but I feel that I would still require an answer to my question. I now host a podcast called The Movie Lighthouse. You and Michael Ironside are honorary lighthouse keepers, as your names are mentioned nearly every show. My co-hosts are amazing, and I would love to present them with a signed photo of you. I've enclosed 3 and a copy of Doctor Who magazine, episode number 2 from the 1970s. Something very precious to me. Does that sound like a fair exchange? I would like to ask you for an interview, but we tried before and you know how that works out. I've thrown in some dollars for postage, kind of me, as I don't have a clue how to return things by post. Yours sincerely, James William. So I sent that.
Yeah.
You did send it.
I did send it.
That is super cute.
Got a response.
From his agent.
From his agent saying doesn't do signed photos. So I'd like to remove him as an honorary lighthouse keeper.
I think that's difficult.
Really?
Well,
He's let us all down.
Maybe we put him on probation.
Okay, let's move his picture.
Well, you said he didn't. That's a kind of a sweet story.
I did get my magazine back though.
Oh, did they? They
Yeah.
sent that back. See, that's nice.
So that's all
And he
right.
does write really good books.
And actually, although it's a photocopied signature, it is signed Stephen King. So technically I have got a letter back from him.
Oh, right. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Is it written in the first person? Or is it evidently from his agent? Not his agent, but his publicist or whatever.
I was so disappointed I just put it in my box of precious things.
Well, I think that's very cute.
Oh.
So there you
English,
go.
huh? My car's a Jaguar.
The conversation continues.
Well,
Exactly. You'll get him one day, man.
I'll get him
You
back.
will. I'd like to.
No.
It's been commented. Our podcast is great. Content second to none.
Don't pull the curtain back. I know what you're going to do. It doesn't matter. We never apologise for things
Okay,
that
I'm
don't
not
work.
going to apologise for
Right,
ourselves.
no, and don't assume that it's going to be better.
I'm just going to say get close to that area of the room. It's just slightly closer.
No, honestly, I've got it covered.
He's got it covered.
I think you'll find that it wasn't my voice that was
No.
the problem last time.
yeah,
but we've all got our.
it's true.
Anyway,
We're
no
all
one wants to hear
triangulating
about that.
now.
Yeah,
This is how satellites work and GPS.
absolutely. We can position ourselves perfectly.
What's your favourite shape?
Octagon.
Ooh,
No.
saucy. Oh, that's the rhombus.
Yeah.
Anyone got any news?
Well,
No.
finally, I've totally forgotten the date, but finally the trailer has come through for the whole Dark Crystal
I think
series.
it comes out very early September.
very early September, so that's great. Obviously,
Is
it's
the
probably
trailer
not.
any good?
It's
I think it looks really,
Very
really
good.
good, and seems profoundly honest to the original material. You know,
well, they called it Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, and
it looks just the same, but this is just kind of baffling me. So this is before the crystal cracked, right?
yeah, it's called a prequel.
Yeah, but there's Jen. And
Doesn't necessarily mean
they
it's.
look exactly the same as Jen and.
It's probably that. It's not necessarily before the crystal cracked, but it is a prequel. So
Right.
you know,
Okay.
there's lots of bits in there. You see, like the crystal taking some juice out of someone,
Yeah. Well, I think that's when the Skeksis were still feeding from Gelfling.
and you
So
hear the Chancellor out at the end of the trailer going, "Mmm."
now that's not the Chancellor, is it? That's Chamberlain.
Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's finally going to come, and I'm really hoping. Well, I think it's going to be fun.
I watched In the Shadows, Wynn's former choice for In the Beam.
What do you think?
I thought it was brilliant.
Did
The
we-
vampire one.
Yeah, I don't want to watch the English one because
It's got the guy from Toast and stuff like that in it, isn't it? No, I
Matt
quite like him,
Berry.
but- yeah, Matt Berry.
Phone Jacker.
Matt one
One-trick pony.
One trick pony Berry.
No,
yeah.
we love Matt
he's
Berry.
in a new one.
About
Detective
Jack
Rabbit.
the Ripper.
Something, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I heard him being interviewed on Front Row the other day about In the Shadows, and he was going that he worked with the guy from Flight of the Conchords who wrote
Jermaine,
it.
yeah.
Jermaine, I don't know that's his real name, but he was going, I was speaking to Jermaine and I said, how do you want me to play this character? And he said, just play yourself. So here I am, just playing myself. So I
I
wonder
don't
if
think that's really.
I wonder if
himself.
that's what Simon Callow said to him when me and my friend went to see him in a play where he was just playing himself.
I think that's his performing self, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the modern world.
I like it. He kind of just eats words and he kind of breaks them up and he kind of exposes ridiculous parts of language and stuff.
He
I really
doesn't.
like it.
He
And he's
just-
found his thing with Dark Place, which is something very,
Is
very
that
close to
thingy
my heart.
Merengue, Darth
Yeah.
Merengue?
Darth Merengue.
But the
I
best,
love
yeah,
that show.
best character in that was Richard Ayoade.
Ayoade.
Yeah.
He's very good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like the way he talked like that.
Yeah.
Mind you,
Anyone
though-
listening, I profoundly recommend Darth
There's a lot of
Merengue's Dark
profoundness
Place.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. And a lot of it is spoofed from Halloween 3.
Oh, God.
Which is my favourite as well.
Comes up every time. You got the news, Win?
No.
Oh, well, I've got some more. Then.
There's
So-
loads of stuff going on. There's loads of amazing things coming out. I can't remember any of them.
That's probably right thing
Oh,
to say.
turns out June. So June, I was thinking the guy that made Blade Runner 2049. I can't remember his name. Danny.
You hated that film.
I can't, hate's a bit strong, but anyway, it's because I've got so much love for the original. Anyway, so June is all set to, it's on it's being made now. And I was thinking that was going to be a film. Turns out it looks like it's going to be a TV series.
Everything that was a film has now been made into a TV series. It's
Yeah.
standard.
Why is this? So I think we shouldn't actually be allowed to talk about TV series.
We said we weren't.
Really? Yeah,
We
that's
do
sort
a
of
lot
crept
of
in,
it,
though, isn't it? Yeah.
We do a lot of
The
it.
problem is, we are called the Movie Lighthouse, shining a light through the fog of film.
Film, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So should we try and pull it back?
Yeah, okay. Stop
Okay.
talking about June.
Like
then.
a full skin of entertainment.
Both things you said are not films.
I know. So I'll shut up now.
Well,
Although it does look like, I do have just a comment rather than news as
Okay.
such. It does look like Marvel have made their first bomb
Oh,
with the Dark Phoenix. relative bomb.
Is it Marvel though? I don't think it is.
It is Marvel, isn't it?
No,
What are you
I
talking
think the X-Men franchise is Fox.
Oh right, Disney. So it is Marvel, but
No, hold on a minute. No, because I thought the X-Men franchise was owned by the people who own the Spider-Man franchise, Sony.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't cross over into the world of
The Avengers stuff.
Yeah.
However, they did. I think Sony.
it's starting to blur. Well, they've got
Yeah.
some of the rights for Spider-Man now.
Well,
So
apparently it's
Sony-
not very good.
Yeah,
What I understand, Sony owns the right. Well, owned the rights to Spider-Man only with the caveat they had to make a Spider-Man film every year or something, or every 2 years.
Okay.
That's why we've had like so many.
right.
It just got ridiculous, and I suppose it got to that point where like this is ridiculous. We can't keep making the origin of Spider-Man every.
But I think
fucking
Marvel
2
have
years.
got Spider-Man back now,
So they've
hence Homecoming.
they've kind of like.
But
gone, you
they,
can have him
I
now.
think they still own the rights to Venom
X-Men and all
and
that.
X-Men, which is why they made a Venom film.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
why
what he
all their
says.
films
It's a
are
different
rubbish.
studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's happened. Apparently it's not very good.
But talking of Marvel, last month I was saying that I'm done with Marvel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've now decided to watch them all. So,
In order.
yeah.
Well, that's what you do when you're done with things, isn't it?
So I'm up to Iron Man 3. I just watched Iron Man 3, which I've never seen before.
I think it sounds a bit odd talking about Marvel in this way, but it's a proper cartoony one.
Yeah.
It's not a cartoon, obviously, but it is that kind of this is just
It's also
Iron
gives
Man 3.
yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, actually does most of his acting out of the suit. He doesn't wear it very much. I really am enjoying my little journey.
Very good.
Yeah. So there we go.
I've never been on that journey. I've just dropped in every now and again.
Well, it's quite good, as in because obviously they really build up on the mythos, the myth,
the methane.
on the methane, build up on the methane. Yeah, so I'm quite looking forward. I'm hoping by the time I get to the end of it, I'll be able to watch Endgame. If there's still copies available.
You've seen Endgame, haven't you?
Everyone's deleted it
Have
on,
you not seen it?
on VHS, taped over it with the football.
Oh, didn't you miss that?
What, VHS?
Taping things up by accident. Who's recording over, Day of the Triffids? Bloody, I'm gonna kill you, Laurie.
Right.
It's Ulysses.
It was Quatermass in the Pit when I was a kid.
Quatermass in the Pit. It's
That
a
accidentally
brilliant
got
film.
It is fantastic, but accidentally got recorded over.
Oh, it's Dad's Everly Brothers concert. He was furious. He was furious. Who's recording over the Everly Brothers? Bloody hell.
Was it you?
Yeah.
What did you record?
I don't know. It's when I figured out how to, that little bit that you snap out of the.
Yeah. You just
the
put
tape.
sellotape over it.
Yeah. I think I put a little bit of tissue in there.
We don't get
it
to
probably was
record things
D'Artagnan
anymore.
or something. I reckon.
And no wonder he was pissed.
He was well
One
pleased.
for Rolando for one.
One for all and all for one. Muscle hounds are always ready. One for all and all for one. Helping everybody. One for all and all for one. It's a pretty story. Sharing everything with fun. That's the way to be.
Wake up, little Susie.
That went on forever, didn't it, D'Artagnan? Didn't it
Yeah.
feel like... I bet it was only like 20 episodes. It
that
felt
and-
like it went on...
Cities of Gold.
Yes, and
Both of them, I think Cities of Gold is an
And Ulysses.
absolute masterwork.
Willy Fogg.
Ulysses,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, Ulysses is good.
Willy Fogg, okay.
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 It's okay.
Mythos. Okay.
Yeah. D'Artagnan was good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But, Cities
Musket
of Gold.
hands are always ready. One for Rolando
Great
for
theme tune.
one.
Yeah. Anyway, in the beam. All right, I'm going to start this week.
Go.
In celebration of our Guilty Pleasures podcast,
Yes.
I watched a recommendation by Mr. Wise here called Life Force.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And I was going to suggest that we did this in the extra one, but I think it would be just too much to do with the other two classics that we've got coming
I
up.
know, I think we can quickly whip round.
Well, we're gonna-
I actually watched it as well recently. Have you seen it? Have you
Oh.
seen Life Force?
All
No.
right, so I think this is a perfect example of a guilty pleasure. The acting is horrendously wooden. I mean, I put a bit on the Facebook
Oh,
page.
no, I have seen it.
It's a great effect. The effects are brilliant.
They make an effort. It was a guy from Star Wars, one of the main guys that did the effects.
But the
on Star
main
Wars.
thing with this film, which
Yeah.
I couldn't grasp for most of the way through, is who the fuck was the protagonist?
Yeah,
Who was running the show?
Yeah.
You know, you had the old man who talked like that, and then you
Van
had,
Helsing.
Yeah, and then you had the young guy, and then there was
Colonel Kane, who was supposed to have been Michael Caine, but Michael Caine went, "No, don't be daft. This
He
film's
turned that
mental."
down because he was focusing on building up for Jaws 4. But it was brilliant, but bonkers. I loved
It's
it.
a brilliant film to put in the beam. I think that's a great call. It's absolutely mental. It's based on a book called Space Vampires.
Yeah, and it is Space Vampires, and I'm
Yeah.
sure Space Vampires has got a link to Alien.
The film Life Force was co-written with the writer of Alien,
Okay.
and this was supposed to be right. This is going to rival Alien, but the script is absolutely mental. The
Yeah.
acting is spectacular,
proper, isn't it?
but the film delivers on so
Yeah,
many
it's
levels.
a
The
great-
special effects are amazing. The twists and turns are nuts. So it just turns out to be this weird, cheesy.
One minute you're in space, the next you're in like a mini metro in the middle of the country with a farmer or something. You know?
And there's Patrick Stewart, who hasn't,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
always just been Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
he does this weird performance. It's
His fit on the floor is pretty good, don't
It's
His tap dancing
amazing.
shoes. That's amazing.
it's amazing. Life Force, 100%. That is in the beam.
Yeah, it is in a beam. So it drew me to my question of the week, which is question of the month, which is becoming a feature.
Why
Yes.
don't Stephen King films transpose well to film?
Do you need a protagonist in a film?
Good question. Depends what film you're making, I suppose.
Will? You never ever. No one puts any effort into answering these questions that I
That's
spend a lot of time thinking about.
That is because we are measured individuals, and the idea of just off the cuff shooting an answer is
Off the cuff, quick thinking.
Can you think of a Can you think of a film where there is no protagonist? Which is, I'm not talking about your avant-garde movies, Laurie.
Okay. No, it's a good call. I was just trying. I started thinking of like maybe like
faces on.
like the Dirty Dozen, where you've got so many kind of characters in it.
Or the
Does that-
Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
maybe.
Films with numbers in them.
Fantastic Five.
Ocean's 8,
Fahrenheit 451. I don't know.
Jaws 2. No, I don't know. It just depends on the story you're saying, and it's an interesting concept. You know, you always come to a blank canvas as a writer or as a filmmaker.
Tarantino, do you ever do Pulp Fiction without a protagonist? Or a number of protagonists, I suppose.
So there's
Exactly.
So Ving Rhames'
Vince
character is driving most of the activity in that film.
Yeah.
What film? Oh, we're
Pulp
back to
Fiction.
Life Force.
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, right, okay.
But if you kind of look at it, if you have a film that is trying to do what writers like Sebastian Faulks do in books, then it's this annoying thing about it's an exploration of the human condition. So it's less dependent on a specific protagonist driving. It's all like, oh, this is just how people are, man.
But I suppose the problem I have with Life Force, until I just kind of
There
threw
is no
myself into
problem
it,
with Life Force.
is just attaching yourself to somebody.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And you're a good.
What, because you don't care
half
about
an-
any of them?
Well,
Well, there's
Well,
no
look at-
one who's actually kind of. It's just stuff happening. You're witnessing.
you're not
stuff
going
happening.
along with someone on an adventure. You're going along with someone for a bit, and then he disappears. And if 1 minute, like the Major, he's the guy from the space, the astronaut.
The
Yes,
American guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he only turns up like halfway through, and it's like
Steve Rail's back.
there's so many.
So you
of
see
them.
him right at the beginning, so you think he's your boy, and then he vanishes.
Yeah.
But then he does turn up again. So what's another great thing about this film is it kind of takes its time. It doesn't, you get like about 3 or 4 explanations of kind of how these vampires turn into zombies, how they drain stuff. You get that 3 times.
And none of it
There's
really makes sense if
Yeah.
you look at it too closely.
you don't have to look at it closely. It's blatant. The film is mental, and it's just brilliant.
Oh.
And there's obviously a lot of real effort was put into this weird, bizarre film.
Wyndham,
And apparently, Matilda May, who plays the space girl, didn't speak English until she was on set. She learnt phonetically the lines that she had.
Ah, bless her. Don't worry, a naked woman won't get out of this facility. How do you kill them? The old way, with the iron spike, 2 inches below the heart.
Is that the bit when
In
he's
the
speaking to them on the
central
helicopter?
energy core.
Can you hear me, Carter?
Yeah.
What a, brilliant. It's
Life
brilliant.
force.
Yeah,
Let's
can
hear
we see
it.
it?
I want
Yeah.
a round of applause coming in now.
I
Big
can't
one.
be bothered then. So let's just clap our hands. Right, Wyndham, have you got an in the beam?
I
for
do,
us?
yeah. So you may be aware that last weekend, I think it was the 75th anniversary of the D-Day landings.
Yes, it was.
It was.
And Operation Overlord. And
Eh?
fortuitous, the name of the overall secret mission name for the D-Day landings was Operation Overlord.
Oh, I'm not a warmonger, I don't know.
Neither am I.
I can't do
That's just facts and knowledge.
If you are a warmonger, write in. tell us what we're getting wrong.
I think one
Anyway.
of our writers is a warmonger.
Anyway,
Stop
Listeners.
it.
the point being, I saw this film on Sky Movies called Overlord, and I thought, do you know what? Timing's right. I'll give it a watch. And it's effectively Resident Evil
Yeah.
during the Second World War with Nazis.
Oh, wow.
So it's about the American paratroopers drop in behind enemy lines, and they need to destroy a tower because there's some radio interference being sent by the Nazis at that thing. The tower is at a church. They go to the village, and everyone's like, "No, nobody goes in the church. Nobody goes in the church. There's something in the basement. Don't go in the church. Don't go in the church."
Yeah.
And these paratroopers are there, kind of going,
We've got to go in the church.
"We've got to go and have a look at the church, haven't we?"
Yeah.
And one of them accidentally he hides in the back of a truck, which is ferrying dead French peasants, effectively, into the church.
Yeah.
And it's basically Resident Evil. It was just this kind of, I'm enjoying this way more than I expected to.
Great.
Really, really.
Did this actually
enjoyable.
come out not that long ago? Probably about.
Yeah, I think it was late last year.
I saw a trailer. Has it got the guy from Get Out Now?
I think it's just called Get Out.
Get Out.
No, it hasn't. But it looks a bit like him.
Okay.
I think you're being racist.
No, no,
I'm joking.
I saw a very, very quick trailer.
A quick look. Yes, he does look a bit like him, but no, it's not. It's not. him.
Ah,
Get
yeah,
Out
no,
Now's
that
a
looks really
sequel.
cool.
But
Hold on a minute.
you said-
What did you watch it on?
I think it's on Sky Movies. No, maybe. So it's either Sky, Netflix, or Amazon.
That's everything.
I think it's on Amazon,
Right. Okay. Well, Amazon have absolutely everything.
and I think it's on Amazon Prime because I don't think
Yeah.
I would have paid for it.
Something that you've reminded me though, you said so Resident Evil, yeah? That kind of turns into that. You asked, I think it was actually your last episode, you said, okay, what games have transposed into good films?
Yeah,
And
no one
I-
gave me a good answer for that. If
I
I
thought
remember.
about it.
Oh, hello.
I had a little moment on the toilet, and I remembered Silent Hill. There's one for you.
Yeah.
That's actually rather good.
And that is proper a bit.
Yeah. Well, the game itself is
Yeah.
proper.
Yeah, it is. But the
But
film actually, when the film does the same flip as the game does,
Yeah.
and that big triangular headed.
Yeah,
dude.
there he is.
So
Yeah.
tune in next month for the answer to my protagonist question, I guess.
It will be there. Quick
Yeah.
thinking.
Right, Laurie, have you got none in the beam?
I'll quickly. This one's half in the beam. I'll be super quick on it. You were never.
Hold on. Does that mean you're going to do another one after this? Or is it just this one?
I would have said it all by now. I just want to say just really quickly.
Because this is the only one you get.
Oh, for God's sakes. I'll say The Isle of Dogs by Wes Anderson.
Oh, yes.
So Wes Anderson's very, very kind of unique, his own self filmmaker. So he did Life Aquatic, Darjeeling Railway, Grand
he do
Budapest
Mona Lisa?
Hotel. Huh?
The puppet one?
The puppet one.
No, okay. Doesn't matter.
He did Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is his
Yeah, I'm
first
sure
sort
he
of
did Mona
animation.
Lisa, the adult puppet film.
Maybe. I might have missed
I
that
think I
one.
might have named it completely wrong.
But Isle of Dogs is very similar sort of animation style to what he did with Fantastic Mr. Fox, but probably a little bit slicker actually in a way because they're using more kind of different sort of puppets and stuff. But yeah, very, very unique filmmaking, compelling, detailed. I've got a sneaky suspicion he might be a little bit OCD with his detail, but beautiful, beautiful film. Isle of Dogs.
What did you watch it on?
The telly. It was the
I
telly.
was so close to saying that myself, and then I could see the sigh coming from him
No, it
already,
was.
just as I was thinking.
Is
If
that
people
one?
want to watch
This
this
is
at
a-
home, what format can they find it on?
You probably
Well,
bump into it.
you've only got Sky, haven't you, or Netflix?
Yeah.
So which one was it? Do you remember?
It wasn't a DVD. I would like to say DVD, but it wasn't. I think it was The Sky.
All right. Let's do On the
The
Rocks.
other film, by the way.
On the Rocks.
What are you doing? You're not actually going into an asteroid field.
They'd be crazy to follow us, wouldn't they?
I haven't got anything for On the Rocks. Anything I've watched has been magical.
Wow.
Magical.
Win?
I do, yes. This is avoidable on Sky Movies. It's a new film, recent film called Upgrade. And it is...
Oh, it's a sci-fi.
It's a sci-fi thing where this guy and his girlfriend get attacked. She gets murdered. He gets his spine severed and therefore is disabled.
Mm-hmm.
There's I guess a Blade Runner 2049 style dude played by that dude who also played the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, that kind of character, the overlord of this amazing tech company,
Yeah.
invents a chip that effectively takes over the body, and so the guy has this chip fitted and becomes a vigilante tracking down the people who murdered his wife, and it's just crap. It's really rubbish.
A waste of
ultimately-
time.
Yeah, and I'm obvious spoiler alert because there's no reason to watch it.
Yeah.
It turns out that the chip inside his body is kind of sat there. It can talk to him, and it's actually an AI. And it's ultimately, you find out it is tracking itself down. So it was responsible for the murder of his wife because it had identified him to be its body because it needed a physical body in the universe and it wanted his. So it goes through this convoluted process to get a chip in him and then take over his body and back his consciousness to the back.
Okay.
It's just shit.
Oh, sounds
So
awful.
imagine that in the writing room, they're going, whoa, that's crazy, man, that's like a circle, which is my favourite shape.
Oh, sorry, we didn't ask.
That's alright.
It's not. Well, I was going to say it's not a shape, but I think it is. Laurie,
Circle's not a shape. Do I have
a
anything
feeling.
on the rocks? Not really. I would like to use this opportunity to say, though, obviously Game of Thrones did come to an end. There's a lot of naysayers out there.
well, that's not on the rocks though at all.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that might have put that on the rocks. That's not even a film,
that's
is it?
That's not even allowed.
But I just want to
That's not
say to
even
the
a
naysayers, think yourself lucky, because what did we have? North and South, War and Peace. They were good. We had the Thornbirds.
Do you know what? I
They
like
were
all
okay.
those things. Just to point, but I really
It wasn't
don't
Game of Thrones,
understand.
was it? Look at that.
All right, if we're going to talk about this briefly, I don't understand what the negative reaction to it was.
It's because it
I mean,
builds
what-
itself up.
But
It's this
what
absolute
did they
beautiful
possibly
work of art.
want?
Well, just wanted more. They wanted more
Yeah, they wanted
explanation.
another
wanted
series.
more.
Yeah, but you
Night
can't- you
King.
can't have
They
it
wanted
from-
more.
That was...
Daenerys going
I mean,
mental.
And I don't feel too... I'm not bothered by it, to be honest.
It's brilliant.
But the Night King bit
yeah,
was great.
but
Don't
you
get me
didn't
wrong.
expect that though.
You
did
didn't
you?
expect it. It was a proper fucking hell moment.
It was too dark.
But you
so I couldn't
do,
say anything.
you do kind of sit there going, hold on a minute, you've just built this Night King up
And then
for
that-
8 seasons,
Yeah,
and then you do
And then
him in
that.
one episode.
Exactly.
The
Well, hold,
first
on,
time-
hold on a minute. Hold
the
on a
first
minute.
time-
It was a long episode.
It-
It was like a movie-length episode.
Yeah,
but what
but-
else did you want to do? I thought it was
the
brilliant
point
how she
being-
got rid of him.
It's
The point
supposed-
but the point being, the first person who actually tries to kill him kills him.
Kills it. Yeah.
Well, I think you obviously didn't watch last season when they were trying to kill him and he killed a dragon and then he built the dragon
so
up and then they blew up the
collectively-
wall.
Collectively, they were trying to kill him, but they hadn't gone
One-on-one, yeah.
And then the first time they do that, it's like, sorry,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
underestimated me.
But what
It
also
was a good death, but though it was good.
What also, is, well, we won't go on too long about this, but that whole Night King thing, essentially in the writing is, the Game of Thrones men trying to fight women and women fighting men and blah 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 all over this throne means nothing compared to the actual threat of
Good and
nature. Nature is the one, and that was the.
Is that
Night
why we
King.
have
That's
to
the-
destroy nature?
That
I
was
don't think the
metaphor.
Night King was nature.
Yeah, it is.
He was made
It's
by the
winter.
It was not.
elfy
So it
bits.
was-
No,
It's
he
like,
wasn't
it's like the
made.
foolishness of men doing their stupid crap whilst this big thing comes over, and that was kind of the metaphor of the Night King, and that's what a lot of people that were quite upset about what they did was like, what? No, you've totally missed the point. And,
So, as you have done with the on the rock section.
which I have. But I've just got to say, I think it was beautifully done with what they had to do. They had to wrap it up in that season. They did it. I think it was poetic, clever, artful, and well done. Round of applause yet again from me.
Gets Laurie Sealing
yeah,
truthful.
yeah, very,
Well done.
very good indeed.
All
They
right,
can
so
rest
let's
easy.
move on to our main feature, which this month is Guilty Pleasures.
Which was really hard.
Yeah, and can I just say, I don't think either Laurie and I necessarily did this the justice that maybe
We
it deserves.
Didn't.
No, you didn't. All
I
right,
should have
so
said, I figured out what I should have said. I should have said The Notebook.
you're-
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean?
Right, we'll get on to that in a minute. All right, so I'm going to give you a bit of information about Guilty Pleasures, and this was quite hard.
Are these personal
realised.
guilty pleasures?
All right, so
I'm
gonna-
not guilty about it. I
And
just
that's
do
the
it.
other
It's a
thing.
thing I do
It's-
regularly.
It's the guilty bit that stumped me. Cause
All
it's
right,
like,
so
if
here
I
we
like
go.
It, I like it. Why do
So
I feel
it's
guilty?
a noun.
It's a noun.
Something such as a film, television program, or piece of music that one enjoys despite feeling that it's not generally held in high regard. Quote, everybody has a guilty pleasure. For me, it has to be mid-70s disco, just in case you didn't understand it. That was from a dictionary.
A dick.
Right, one each.
Yeah.
Television guilty pleasure. Without an expert, just has anyone got one?
Television.
Mine for years was Doctor Who, because everyone fucking hated it when I was a kid.
You'd have thought we'd have thought about this, given that we were so bad last time we posed it. I don't. I see. This is the challenge I have: is that I don't care whether anybody.
So
else
there's
likes
not
it
a
or
series that you watch that you think, oh, that's really shit.
I never
But you love it.
stick with anything long enough, really.
Well, I'll probably say, you know, I've got self-respect, and for years and years,
Why?
for years and years, I turned a blind eye to the Clone Wars because that's just kiddie crap. And then I flipped that stone, and shit, man, there's so much cool stuff in that, and then because of that,
In your notebook,
I have to keep
in your
half my
notebook, do
eye.
you have on every page, must mention Star Wars this month, must mention Star Wars?
It's just a natural fabric.
All right, Will, have you
in
got any?
stuff. No, wait, just give
Oh.
me to the point. So once I flip that Clone Wars thing, it's basically now when a new series comes out, so you had Rebels, and now you've got Star Wars Resistance, I know that there's going to be the odd episode or a character arc in there that's going to link to the whole universe again. So I've got to carry on watching it, and I feel very guilty.
Good.
Because I respect myself.
So I guess from a TV perspective, I probably do, and it's probably something like diners, drive-ins, and dives. Which
I've
is on the Food Network, and it's this dickhead American guy called Guy Fieri, something like that.
Yeah.
And what does he
around,
do?
He goes around loads of areas in the US and finds high quality dive bar diner food,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then he just watches them cook it, and then he sits there kind of going, "Oh man, that's the bomb! It's Flavor Town."
But
you know what
you kind
you-
of get like a travelogue, you
It
get a
is.
culture
It
log,
is.
and a food log.
And then you get this Belen
Yeah.
hosting it all.
Do you know what? You reminded me, my guilty pleasure is Lock-Up Challenge or Lock-Up.
Your
Lock
daughters.
up.
It's basically...
Oh, that's
people
not
go
when-
to a lockup and they look inside the lockup and they see what shit
And then they bid for
and then
it,
they
don't
bid for it. It's
Have you seen the
American and English?
the
yeah.
English version with that big fat fella?
Oh, well, the black hair woman that goes mind.
I don't know. I think he
It's
says
brilliant.
something like boom.
I can watch that
Every time he
show.
wants to bid, he just goes boom.
Yeah, boom. I can watch that show all day long.
Actually, that's a good
Yeah,
shout. That is a good
It
call.
is brilliant. Honestly, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's great.
Okay.
It makes you feel really good about yourself.
Oh yeah, it does. Right, so before we talk about the films we're just going to choose very quickly, the films that got away. The Last Starfighter. Who reckon?
Right, it's definitely not a guilty pleasure. Don't know why it came to my head. It's actually a really good film.
Okay, great. Phantasm.
Yeah, I didn't have the faintest clue. So I think had I watched Phantasm, it's not a guilty pleasure either. No, this is why I don't think we did it justice. We really were caught off guard.
So the film that got away probably would be, like I say, The Notebook.
It's funny that you went off guard because he made a big point of me giving you the list of all the categories in the ball bag so you could prepare.
It's because
How did that work out for you?
It's because you're sending me up there doing the daytime shift at the lighthouse. All my time spent fucking stood
No,
up
we
there
do the
in
daytime.
the day-
No, we
Oh.
do the daytime. You do the nighttime.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it works.
Well, why? Oh yeah.
I do have one.
I
that-
need to look at that rotor again.
Given a couple of days of measured thinking, I did think it's a guilty pleasure. It is the magnificent Dolph Lundgren
Yeah.
in the wonderful Dark Angel.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Let's hope we can squeeze that
So
in.
good. You like that film?
He's a rogue cop who never breaks his promise, and there are two aliens come to Earth. And he's
I
tracking them
think
down.
I saw this film when it came out. and
Can
it
I,
was
make
like,
can I
we
just
should
ask a
have done
question?
that.
If
Dark
he's a rogue
Angel.
cop, surely he's already broken his promise
No,
to the law.
so he's no, because he doesn't. He's rogue insofar as he doesn't necessarily stick to the traditional method. No, he doesn't.
He's
break
a
them.
loose cannon.
He's a loose cannon rather than rogue. That's better. Yeah.
A
There's a
maverick.
great line where
Maverick.
there's his superior officer. He's gone and nobody can find him and he comes back and he kind of goes, I can't believe you were out of touch for so long. A week maybe I can understand, but 8 fucking days. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
All right, so our first movie is Battle Beyond the Stars. So
Okay.
let's have a clip.
Ruthless invaders, a defenseless planet. Battle beyond the stars. A lone youth escapes on a last-ditch mission that begins at the edge of the universe.
Okay, so it was released in 1980, directed by Jimmy T. Murakami, screenplay by John Sayles. It wasn't based on a novel. It was music by James Horner. Effects, James Cameron. Budget of
Affects James
$400,000.
Cameron. Not the James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
The James Cameron.
I think so, yeah. Battle Beyond the Stars was released in theatres on the September the 8th, 1980. It recouped its costs upon selling the foreign distribution, blah, 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 for $2.5 million. All right, so it made its money back. Surprisingly, it didn't win any Oscars or BAFTAs or anything else indeed.
So not to kind of highlight a potential. Where did you get that James Cameron bit from?
The interweb.
Okay.
Notable actors: Richard Thomas as Shad, Robert Vaughn
Special
as
effects.
Gelt, John Saxon as Sador, George Papard as Space Cowboy, Darlene Flugel as Nelelia,
Yeah, that is a great name.
Sybil Danning, Saint Exim. I can't be bothered doing anymore.
Yeah, that'll do.
All right, Laurie, could you give us a little synopsis?
Okay, you're in space, and big fucking ship turns up. Oh, I've seen that before. And then that goes over to a planet and says, I'm nicking your planet. And there's a bad guy who's got a stain across his eye. He says, I'm going to nick your planet. And then John Boy's there. And John Boy's granddad says, he's well going to fuck us up. So go and get some guns and stuff. You're quite good at flying the ship. And John Boy goes off out into space, tries to find some guns, bumps into loads of other ships and different people, pulls together like this ragtag crew of 7
Mercenaries.
7 mercenaries, or 7-stroke
Right, thanks.
14, and then they go back to the planet and they have a battle.
All right, brilliant. All right, Wyndham, what did you reckon?
What do you reckon, Win?
So, I think, had I seen this
At
when
the
I was
time.
younger,
Yeah.
it might have a place in my heart. As I didn't, and I saw it 2 nights ago, I think it's a really poor film.
I think it's awful.
It is.
Oh,
It's not a good film.
I mean, look,
It's not a good film.
it's not a good
I
film.
wrote here, should this film be sued for breach of copyright? You've got the VADA. The VADA who dispel knowledge about the way of how to do things in the universe. And you've got it's called Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
Star Wars. All right.
And when the doors open, they sound like Vader.
They do. Yeah, they do exactly. The doors sound like Vader. They're just very,
It's
very, very true.
Awful. I wrote here, I could have enjoyed it more if I'd seen it as a child.
Well,
Yeah.
that's it. So basically,
It's a
there's a
children's
child in you that went, I'm really enjoying this.
No,
All right?
no,
No.
no.
It was very faint.
No.
It was very faint
No,
in your mind.
the only bit I enjoyed was when they're all sitting around the campfire, but the campfire was actually the little aliens.
Yeah, because they heat up. They're awesome. They're awesome. So John Boy, obviously, he goes out and to try and find stuff, and quite quickly he keeps getting into these weird scenarios. Bumps into that ship, goes onto this ship, meets this guy on that ship. There's a hell of a lot of ships going on in this film. It's all just
And considering the vastness of space, they do coincide quite easily.
Yeah. So I remember as a kid, I did enjoy it. It's very much more sort of that Buck Rogers feel.
And Battlestar Galactica.
I think Battlestar Galactica had probably a little bit more refined finish.
Bit more class. When I was a kid, I really, really wanted a Transformer.
Which one?
It didn't really matter. I think it was
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime.
Oh,
My
it's the
mum
tape deck. It's the
didn't
Walkman.
get, I didn't
That's
get.
the one.
I didn't get a Transformer. I got a GoBot.
Oh,
And it was shit. Okay,
We all feel your pain there.
I got a GoBot.
this is a GoBot
Yes.
to the Star Wars
What is-
Transformer.
Oh, I know. I think it's even worse than that. This is probably the Korean Shotbot. You know,
It's quite mammary focused as well.
very much so. The ship,
Even to the point the ship's got
the
tits.
ship has got tits. So that's
Well, Chicken for Sandra pointed out it looks like flying ovaries.
yeah. There's ovaries. There's a bit of pig carcass. It's a very interesting design. I love that ship. I think it's really cool.
And what do you think?
Very titty. Yes.
Yeah. What do you think the casting requirements was for the Valkyrie?
She's awesome.
Right, we'll go. Let's go for
Okay,
the
so the
characters
brief
in a
on
minute.
this was
Yeah, go on.
a guilty pleasure, and I said I chose the wrong films. On this one, I didn't, because I did thoroughly enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Fair dues.
Okay, I thought the script was shocking.
When did you first see it?
Absolutely shocking.
When did you first see it?
I must have been about 8, 9, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Understand that.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I've just put some weird quotes down there, but out of all the things to experience in the galaxy,
Yeah.
I think John Boy's telling them about the wonders of the galaxy.
Yeah.
He explains wind.
Yeah, you know, it's just weird. Yeah, the script is fucking awful and it's great. I'm trying to think of any sort of line.
Stellar, that was it. Stellar Connector. Is that it? Was it?
Stellar Connector. What do you mean?
It's what's the thing that destroys
The
things?
weapon.
It's called a Stellar. I'm sure I've written down connector or converter.
Something like that.
Sonic weapon. Is it so dangerous? Why can they hear each other? Oh yeah. When the sonic weapon's going off, blowing everybody's minds out, they're going, well, it's really bad! So it's fucking sonic weapon. It's awful. Awful.
It's great.
But I've got a quote here from the Valkyrie. So the
Yeah.
Valkyrie's there to... she's obviously from a fighting warrior race.
Yeah.
She's scantily clad. She's
Yeah.
got massive boobs. She's got a fake kind of styrofoam Thor hat on.
Yeah, she's very sexually
She's
confident.
very
She's
sexually
a
confident.
very
She talks about sex.
strong
And
woman.
when she's coming on to John Boy, because he's repressed, to say the least,
Yeah.
she says, your talk bar has slipped its groove. Talking about his erection.
Oh, right, okay.
But also, there's something wrong with his talk bar.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
clever.
you say what did you say about John Boy? He's very
Repressed.
repressed. And this is the thing. So,
They're all repressed. They're
In-
pacifist nation. Well,
yeah,
aren't
yeah, this is the thing. So at that time, we were watching Rambo, Star Wars, all the Dolph Lundgren films, all that kind of stuff.
Well, this was 1980, so a bit before that, I should
it's,
say.
no, it's fair to say Schwarzenegger, Star Wars, violent Chuck Norris films. We were watching violence. Our protagonists, our heroes, are running around with fucking guns, killing fucking everyone. Han Solo shooting Greedo. You know what I mean? They're our heroes. And what was interesting about this, actually, you've got your hero, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to kill him. I'm not going to shoot him."
But the problem with
And
Chad, I thought...
Nell, the ship, is like, "Don't be such a twit." And he's like, to the point. There's a bit even near the end. He's like, "Not from behind."
I don't think
That's
he's
my
talking
favourite.
about.
I think Shad is very unlikable.
He's hugely.
all the way
I
through.
wanted him to get killed immediately.
He's really horrible to
And-
people all the time.
He is horrible. He's horrible
and
to
he's
Valkyrie,
completely
isn't he?
unnecessary.
But you can be horrible at
Nell
Chad.
could have gone off and rounded up some mercenaries on her own.
She
Yeah.
could have done it
That's-
herself,
yeah.
actually.
And quicker.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's almost like she's being stubborn, isn't she? The ship's computer, when she's going, well, I'm not going to put on the autopilot.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Because she takes over and blows the ship up.
Yeah.
And well, you weren't going to do it, so I did it.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the actor's name, but I was very happy to see my favourite man from Uncle,
Yes, Napoleon Solo.
Napoleon.
Robert Vaughn.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
and he
All
was
right.
cool. He was
So
quite a
what do we
tragic
think of
character.
Solo? It was quite a good performance.
What do
In
you think
what
of
way?
what?
The guy
Gold.
from Man from Uncle.
Yeah. playing golf. Well, he just kind of lay back in his ship and kind of looked moody.
Pouted, yeah.
He was definitely phoning it in. He wasn't,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have a lot to work with.
What about John Saxon? Anyone recognise him from any other films?
I do recognise him,
Nightmare on Elm Street. He played
Yes.
Nancy's father.
Yeah.
but I couldn't remember.
He's
Oh my god, he's got 198 acting credits.
Yeah,
on
he's
IMDb.
been in a lot of shit. He's worked with Mario Bava.
I thought he was okay, actually. I thought his performance was quite solid.
Yeah, it's kind of that camp, megalomaniac, killing everyone, stain on his face. How do you reckon he got that stain?
It's a birthmark.
Acidic jizz?
Acidic jizz.
Well, you're out in space. Anything may happen. But-
Oh, that green thing. What was his
The
name?
lizard.
That was awful.
It's
It's almost like they just watched me, even though we hadn't been made. But,
Yeah.
it was terrible.
Well, he's their version of Greedo, isn't he?
Yeah, really bad one.
I
Oh.
love it because he's gonna eat her, isn't he? And then she explains she's on a mission to do over so and so.
Yeah,
He's like,
Sador.
what? I hate you
I
as
think
well.
he's a Shakespearean actor who got the part
Yeah.
because he could physicalise the performance.
But did you see when he walks towards her, he just wiggles his talons. Lovely ladies.
But when he agrees, like, actually, let's go kill
Yeah,
this bad
Sador.
guy. The scene is so weird because it's like quite a far away shot, and he just sort of claps his hands, and goes right to go and get them. And it's so shit. I think it's really great.
The ruler of the androids, the man in just the head, although it was
Yes.
blatantly he was just sitting in
Yeah,
that box.
we can see his
He was
hand
like,
actually.
well,
You can
that's
see
a
his hand
copy
on
of
the left.
Davros, isn't it? Not
Yeah,
Davros.
it's getting close to Davros, yeah.
Davros, and also one of those Star Trek episodes.
Yes, you're thinking about the very early Star
Where he
Trek
gets-
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, when he gets put on trial.
Yeah.
yeah.
But he was a bookman in Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Oh, well, see, there you
Was
go.
he?
Yeah.
The guy who employed Bruce Forsyth.
Yes! I thought the best performance was from George Papard.
He's another one who just dials it in, though. That's just him being him.
I quite like the fact he had
A whiskey dispenser on his...
And the ice. What about the soda and ice? You forgot it. No, I
I
didn't.
didn't.
Yeah.
All right.
George...
Go on, anything else on the acting before we move on to effects?
Just one thing
Yeah.
on George Peppard. He is definitely one of those people who would pull an instrument out around the campfire.
Yeah,
He's playing his harmonica, but in real life, I reckon he's there going, let me just get my
I think so.
Maybe.
strum.
On the acting front, so yeah, it's pretty abysmal, and it's just one of those films. For me personally, it makes me love it more.
Great performance by Zed when he dies. He takes fucking ages. So Zed is the old leader,
Yeah.
the old man.
The Jedi leader,
Yeah,
basically.
and he gets shot, and he again, you're right, you're bob on. They're all kind of theatre actors who kind of
Yeah.
go, "Oh, I am shot betwixt my breast. I will repair." He just staggers around for ages.
Yeah,
I've
so there we
written
are.
Shad is a twat.
there we are. Battle Beyond the Stars. A little bit Magnificent Seven, isn't it? 'Cause,
Well,
you know,
that's what it's
Magnificent
based on,
Seven-
apparently, yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Magnificent
was
Seven
just
in space, that was their idea.
Yeah.
All right, so-
Magnificent Seven was based on Seven Samurai by Kurosawa, which Star Wars was influenced by as well.
Yeah. Well, they took the right elements, I
They
think.
took the right elements, and these guys completely.
To me,
wrong.
right,
But
Star
the
Wars,
ships look
this
cool.
was 1980, so this was a direct response to the... Alright, Star Wars is massive, quick, we've got to make something like Star Wars, and this was them trying to do it, but really badly. I mean,
really badly.
looking at the effects, like just on the makeup, the psychic aliens, well, I thought the concept was quite interesting, but the makeup was just awful.
tights
on there.
Well,
The
it
swimming
just
caps
drew on
they
an
were
eye.
wearing.
Yeah.
Swimming caps drew on an eye.
But no effort to hide that it was a swimming cap.
Yeah.
I loved it. If you get into that Buck Rogers kind of zone, it's like, yeah, this is great. So anyway, I think we could even wrap it up unless
Yeah.
there's anything you want to...
But I've
I
got.
think we're getting there, aren't we?
I thought it was interesting that the supreme baddie Sador
Yeah.
is the guy who gets on the phone to threaten everybody.
You mean he gets on the phone?
Well, you know, whenever he pitches up anywhere, it's always him who's doing the direct. He hasn't got anybody at a minion level who can go, just make sure that happens. Will you?"
Well, maybe that's
He
his
has to
favourite
do it.
bit. That's his
He's,
favourite
no,
bit.
he's a
That's-
micromanager, isn't
Yeah,
he?
Yeah, but that's a quality of a dictator as well. Just do it all yourself. Don't let anyone do anything.
It's surprising you allow us on this show, isn't it?
I edit your bits out. I don't know. I can't remember what this means, but memorable scenes. I like the strong anti-smoking message.
Yes.
What happened?
Oh yeah, it's because Peppard is smoking.
Are you
Is
taking
that
that
real
smoke
smoke
into your
into your
lungs?
lungs?
That was it, yeah.
I don't think you should do that.
And another Akira is mine.
And then they all laugh around.
Yeah, that's it. Brilliant.
Although, to be fair,
Quick, he's laughing, everyone laugh.
Yeah, the makeup of the mutants who work for him did remind me of Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't remember, the Reapers.
I'm not up to that on my Marvel journey.
Anyway, it reminded me of that. But
All
I did quite like Galt's moment when he's dying, and he just says, "What a place to end up. A remote planet in a third-rate galaxy."
Does it stand up today?
That's what.
As its own thing, a little quirk of
You
its
should show
time.
it to your son. See what he thinks of it.
I don't think.
You don't want to warp his mind.
Yeah. I mean,
I-
kids in our generation, we were into ships and lasers and weird noises
It's
and
awful.
doors that sound like Darth
Although
Vader.
I am enjoying it much more in this particular environment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, memorable lines. I've got a couple. Show my backside to those mutant sons of bitches. Computer voice.
That was Nell.
Yeah.
Kind of like mother-
I've got one.
Yeah.
Great innuendo. You've got Shad saying, "No violent ending is beautiful," and then Valkyrie just comes back saying, "You've never seen a Valkyrie go down."
I've got one of hers as well.
And she goes down well.
I could do wonders for that boy. Recharge his capacitors, solenoid, tingle, dingle, dangle, and strangle his transistors.
Yay!
She was quite fun.
It is a bit saucy, isn't it? It's got a bit of sauce in it.
Yeah, but it's saucy
Of its
and
time.
then really childish. It's like,
Yeah.
can you mix it up?
Yeah, you can.
You know, what's his name? Tarantino's doing like an adult Star Trek where they're all going to be swearing their heads off and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be quite good.
Well, probably, but you know,
I do quite like the fact in this that the Akira, or whatever the planet is,
Yeah.
they're
Akira,
basically
Akira.
just pacifists, but are really just unarmed murderers. They flip from their centuries-old thinking and belief system to just fucking shoot everybody in no time flat.
But then you look at Akira, and it's kind of like the first opening shot looks kind of beautiful. It reminds me of an animation called Fantastic Planet, which is a really cool film. But then you think, these 7 people all turning up. Is that planet really worth saving?
How shit is your life going? That
So
this is the only option.
Yeah.
all
John
right,
Boy at the
let's
end is
score
like-
it then.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so Laurie, performances.
It is awful, but I think that this is something to really love about the film. So I'll have to say 4, but it actually really means 8. But
3.
it's 4.
3.
Effects 4. Look, win.
5.
7.
Plot, win.
4.
3.
2. Rewatch factor, Laurie.
3.
1.
0.
Direction, 5.
3.
5.
Cinematography, win.
2.
4.
4. Sound of music, Laurie.
I'll give that a 6.
4.
4.
Originality, 0.
1.
3.
Enjoyability, win.
3.
7.
2. Life-changing, past or present. Is it a life-changing film, Laurie?
4's worth, yeah.
0.
0.
So I just want to say actually that I can't remember the name of the film, but the ship, the booby ship.
Yeah.
There's another film that
It
came out soon after,
Yeah.
and they completely lifted all the shots of this film, and I got a feeling that the soundtrack they did the same with the soundtrack because I really recognise that soundtrack.
All right, Wyndham, what did you get?
25.
Laurie?
Wait,
Well, I'm 25 as well. Lucky we're not in a rush. Oh, for God's sake, it's 10 numbers.
49.
49? Alright, so what's that?
33 gives it a grand score of 99 and an average of 33.
So 33, let's have a look.
You do mean, do you? Is it your mean average?
Just an absolute average.
a fair average.
All right, surprisingly, on our 2019 leaderboard, it's right at the bottom, lower than Blood and Satan's Claw. And
Of course it is.
of our overall all-time leaderboard, it's at the bottom. It's finally got lower. In the Mouth of Madness is no longer at the bottom.
Yay!
Yeah, well done in the Mouth of Madness for being not quite as shit as Battle.
In the Mouth of Madness is not shit.
All right, so let's move straight on to our next film, which is Puppet Master. The Puppet Master, I should say, not to be confused with the exceptionally good sci-fi film Puppet Masters. And before we go dive into this modern-day old classic, we'll have a clip.
In a house of mysteries,
This hotel seems to have quite a history, Mrs. Gallagher.
Who are you people?
a research team with special powers
My God.
She's experiencing the past.
Because we are all joined by our thoughts.
has uncovered an ancient secret.
I have something I want to show you.
Metaphysically speaking, I killed myself.
But they are playing with an evil force.
What would you do with the power?
You can't save her, Alex.
They have given life to a deadly power.
We're all in danger.
And now a box of little toys
I think someone's in the room, Frank.
has become a gang of little terrors.
Okay, so let me give you some information about this film.
You do that.
It was released in 1989. Director David Schmuller. Written by Charles Band and Kenneth J. Hall. I haven't got any other information. Didn't win any Oscars, BAFTAs or anything else. Rotten Tomatoes, 43%. And the film proved to be a cult hit, inspiring numerous sequels and prequels, with 13 films released as of 2019.
Jesus.
With 12 subsequent films released as of 2000. Oh, right, yeah, so about 12 spin-offs.
And that is remarkable.
in itself. And then some notable actors: William Hickey, Andre Toulon, Paul Le Mat as Alex Whittaker, Irene Miracle as Dana, Jimmy F. Skaggs as Neil, Robert Fratz as Megan, Matt Rowe as Frank Forrester, and Catherine O'Reilly as Carissa Stamford. That'll do.
That'll do.
All right.
Will do.
So,
Let's score it.
all right. So, any connections? Right. Well, the only connection I felt between this and Spat and Beyond the Stars was a great deal of wooden acting.
Hey!
The acting's better in this.
No, I meant with the puppets. With the puppets.
Oh.
Shut up. Right. So I first saw this. Shut up. I first saw this film on VHS, and I owned it, and I think I watched it many, many times. It's one of these films that I remember quite fondly, and I still remember it fondly. I thought it was quite good, actually. It tells a good story. Didn't bore me.
What is that story, James? You want to give us the synopsis?
No. You give us a synopsis, Laurie. You're always better at it.
Oh no.
Alright, so it features around a toy maker who's also an occultist and a magician, who has managed to find the secret of breathing life into inanimate objects, namely puppets. The Nazis want to get hold of it, so he kills himself, and then 50 years later, a group of psychic investigators are after the secrets, and they receive the secrets with deadly results.
Yeah.
That'll do. Receiving the secrets. That was my favourite bit.
Yeah. Alright, so Win,
Yeah.
first time you've seen it before?
I have seen it before. I would have seen it in my, I guess, mid-teens probably. With a mate of mine, Simon Hooper, who we watched a lot of this shit.
Hi Simon, if you're listening. Probably
And
not.
the reason I picked it...
You listening, Hooper?
It was one of the...
Hooper! Are you there, Hooper?
It's one of those things I think I've only seen once, and I remember it being better than I saw it the other night.
Okay.
Although, I will be honest, you and I, James, met up so you could give me this on DVD.
Yes.
And we had some pints.
Yeah.
Not a great many, but I hadn't eaten, so when I watched it, I was quite drunk.
Oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to not eat and drink.
And I can't read any of my notes.
All right, well, this won't take long. Laurie.
I'd never seen it before in my life, and an absolute treat. I was absolutely happy when it first started. We got like the kind of like low shots of from the puppet.
I like the shots.
You'd have seen the puppet though.
You totally would have seen the puppet.
Yeah,
would have seen the puppet.
Yeah,
it's not like a thimble size.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
3 feet tall.
But
Yeah.
I thought.
I thought it was going to be probably a bit shitter than actually what it transpired to be, a bit more tongue in cheek than what it transpired to be. But you know, once you kind of get the introduction to these psychic perverts,
good analogy. Good analogy there.
then they get this tip off that something's going on with one of their crew in this hotel. What's it called? The
Well, just the hotel's fine.
No, I want to know the name. The whatever. Anyway, so they go to the hotel, and it's kind of like that haunted house thing now. So it's like, oh, this is cool. I love a good setup of a haunted house. Kind of reminded me a little bit of at the beginning. It reminded me of Peter Jackson, kind of brain dead kind of feel. But then it went into almost Twin Peaks for me. And then Tales of the Unexpected.
There's quite a few influences. There's a film that came out before this called Dolls in the early 80s, which is
a literal link then.
Yeah, and that's a great film. All of the same calibre, about a doll maker who brings all these dolls to life and they go around killing people. Also, I thought the Psychic Scooby-Doo Squad. You know?
Yeah.
And it reminded me, there was the bit with the mask when they were dancing, you know, in the ballroom.
Yeah.
Very like that was just ripped off The Shining. You know, there was,
you reckon?
Yeah.
There was two of them standing there, one in a mask, and he looks at her. That is just.
It's kind of shiny and very 80s. I don't know how I can equate that, but it's very, very 80s.
Yeah. Paul Le Mat, who plays Alex, has got a hell of an 80s haircut.
Oh, that's amazing.
I think he's a terrible leading man.
So you find
bad choice there.
Yeah, you find your opening kind of protagonist is a chubby Wolfgang Mozart.
Yeah, yes.
The little chubby Wolfgang.
Yeah.
I loved him. He was so cute, and the faces that he would pull. Oh,
I mean, this
he's
was
so cute.
This was a film that didn't hold back. For example,
In what way?
Well, within the first 5 minutes, we'd seen all the puppets. You know, usually
you
would
away.
hold that back, but you'd seen them all, and I thought on the puppetry was great.
Well, yeah, you got like so much
And
stop motion animation,
and some of the stop motion was brilliant.
Yeah,
some of it was a
actually,
bit shit, but
it's quite effective.
the concept of all the puppets. I thought the guy with the hands and they use a real hands was
head.
great. Yeah, pinhead.
Yeah, so you've got he's kind of like almost a strong man, and he can punch you really hard. But if you pick him up, he's fucked.
He's still tiny,
Yeah.
and he's got short arms.
But they had the humour.
tiny
But they did the
sloth
humour
from
in that.
Goonies.
I thought the jester character was great with the spinning head.
Yeah,
so
really good.
he's supposedly the leader.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Because they all lose their shit when he gets abused at the
Yeah.
end. That's when it all goes wrong.
I think he is the leader.
He's the lead, and because his head spins and his expression changes so his head split into three.
Yeah.
and the three bits spin.
So that's a
separately
great
to each other.
concept.
It's great. Yeah, no, I like it. But I don't know what my point was.
I don't know. Other puppets you got Mussolini with a big fucking drill on top of his head.
Yeah, wasn't so keen on him. My favourite, which I remember from a kid, which kind of disturbed me a little bit, is
The doll.
The knife dude,
no
the leech woman.
Leech Woman.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's got like a.
Although nowadays I don't really see what the big threat is by 4 leeches. It'll take a long time to kill you.
I think they're
But
mystical
A
leeches.
gothic Cindy. She looks like a gothic Cindy, and then a mouth opens, and she takes forever to regurgitate
really
these
does.
leeches out.
But it's a good idea.
It's great.
The thing for me with all of them is I like each of their kind of the best one is the dude with the knives because I think he's
He's
genuinely the most
badass.
He reminds
Because
me a
all
little
the
bit.
others
Yeah.
are just really easy to thwart.
Yeah.
Really easy to
I
thwart.
just like when you pick up the strong guy.
But they
chuck him down
but
the
listen,
stairs.
but hold on, they don't shy away from that. I thought so. Can we talk about Dana a bit? The witch.
Dana,
I thought
the
was
white-
great.
the white witch
really
is
liked her character.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I really
Now-
fancied her.
She put up a good fight. She was throwing the puppets around, but they kept coming back, which was quite good.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing, isn't it? You can't ultimately stop them.
Why she didn't scream out for help though? You
Don't
know, she had plenty of time.
Yeah.
She did because that dude just went up the corridor 5 minutes ago
Yeah.
after her.
Yeah, I suppose so. Oh, well, there was a. I'm kind of jumping around the place, but I wasn't as keen on Clarissa, who got her head drilled in.
All right, so Clarissa. So all of them have got right. Okay, so let's go back to the Scooby Doo gang. the
Yeah,
psychic
they've all got a skill.
perverts. So they've all got a skill. So you've got Wolfgang Mozart, who sort of dreams and sees the future. You've got this twat. What's his name? Frank. Man.
Who I had to check because I thought he looked just like the husband of Virginia Madsen in the Candyman.
Mate.
But it
Oh,
wasn't.
no,
No,
it
that is
wasn't, but
different.
yeah, there is
I
some-
tell you who he does look like. Forgive me.
Are you going to say me?
What?
He
does not.
He's a little bit Wyndham.
He does not.
He is a
No.
little bit. He is a little bit.
No, he's not.
He is a little bit.
He's receding. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
you're
have
no,
lustrous
not
hair.
that bit. Anyway,
What?
so
I
yeah,
mean,
he's.
the bit when he's
the
strapped to the
beard?
bed.
I'm not quite sure what his power was, but he's obviously a pervert, and his partner.
He's a sexual experimenter.
A sexual experimenter. And his partner, the lady that you was talking about that gets
Yeah.
drilled in the face, she can just touch things and see the history and the story of things. So, for example, you get a scene where she lays on the bed and she gets fruity, and apparently it's Clark Gable and...
So that's why she was having
Because
so.
they had sex on that
That's
bed.
why she was
Clark
having
Gable
so
and
much
blah, blah,
fun
blah,
with that
years ago.
crudité. She wasn't eating, but just laughing every time it touched her lip.
I couldn't figure out it's a crudité. I thought it was a really thin slice of cheese. So that's what it was.
Well, that's what a crudité is, isn't it?
No, it's vegetables. Crudité.
Oh, I thought it was a carrot.
I don't even know what a crudité is.
It's vegetables.
Okay.
Anyway, look. Did we like the film? I loved it.
I liked it a lot.
So I
I
think-
love's a strong word.
Had I been sober,
Yeah.
I probably would have been less harsh to it. I think they've really focused on some of the sound effects that they can do. So footsteps feature quite heavily.
And of
Always.
course, this would have been a precursor to Child's Play.
Yeah, but yeah. Actually, that's a good point because that kind of camera angle,
Yeah.
that low level, and the sound of you know Cuban heels everywhere you go. Yeah, that was all right.
yeah. Talking about the sound then, so the soundtrack throughout is basically obviously some dude on a keyboard that was probably expensive at the time, but now when you listen to it, he's basically put on film score and just going. Does that make the film more charming? Absolutely, it does. And again, that sort of taps into the whole sort of Tales of the Unexpected, Twin Peaks kind of thing for me.
Do you think, talking about the two sexual creatives,
Yes.
exploring spirituality and sexuality, if you
Yeah.
were tied to a bed
Yeah.
and the person who had been kissing your chest and licking your nipples changed to a 12-inch doll,
Yeah.
do you think you'd be able to tell? With wearing a blindfold. Because he fails to realise his lover has had her face drilled out.
Oh, it depends on the technique.
And then the beach woman starts...
But she's very soft with her hands.
She is very soft with her hands. Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think I could tell.
Yeah.
But I've got one big plot hole I've got.
No.
Just the one.
Plot hole? At the end,
Yeah.
so there's a big scene where they win, basically.
So we haven't actually said one of this gang of psychics is dead.
Great dead acting, I thought he did as well.
Died, and
But it was
they-
stuck there
that's
looking
what
down
brings them
at
to
the
the
hotel.
hotel. in
They
the
have all
first
been
place.
invited. They
Yeah.
were all in their younger days searching out this old puppeteer's
Yeah.
secret. This new young guy dies. They've all been invited to the hotel, and
The
it
bone-
transpires he has discovered the puppets.
Yeah.
And they
That's
covered.
why they're on the same.
Also, they covered that brilliantly. When he was putting the puppets away, you saw him just roll up the little Egyptian manuscript.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know how he made it. That's all I need to know. But at the end, when they won, and then it cuts to them leaving the hotel, no talk about what happened to all the puppets fucking running around.
Well, yes, that's why there are 12 sequels.
Yeah. There you are.
So we'll be covering those next week. All right,
There is a really cool scene
Yeah,
actually.
go on.
I just want to point out where you've got Wolfgang and he dreams that
Wolfgang.
someone comes to his room. She goes, "I've got to show you something." So he goes out in the room. Blah blah blah. Something happens.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that was a dream. So he wakes up. But then he has another,
Dream
that
within
kind
a
of
dream.
dream within a dream thing. But then she turns up again, and then you follow him again up to the thing. So it's like a full-on literal. The film for about 10 minutes actually full-on repeats itself in a way like you see. Well, I've ever seen in like Ghost in the Shell 2.
Yeah.
Or there's a really famous film called The Exterminating Angel, where you kind of get that feeling.
Uh-huh.
So that was quite cool. There's a lot of cool stuff in this film.
I think so. I liked it very much.
Enjoyable.
All right, so should we score it?
Yes.
All right, Wyndham, performances.
2. And I would just like to... I was drunk and...
This is White Witch scoring 5.
7. Laurie, effects.
I think they did really well for what they had. 6.
8.
4.
Plot, 8.
2.
Give it a 6.
Rewatch factor, win.
1.
Ooh.
4, 5.
8. I can easily watch this again. Direction, Laurie.
4.
8. I thought it was directed well.
2.
They brought the puppets to life with a little low camera.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to revise it. It's gone up to 6.
Great. Win.
Mine's gone down to 1.
Cinematography, 6 for me. Not quite strong.
2.
5.
Sound of music, win.
Oh,
2.
it's really cute. That guy playing that keyboard, very, very cute. 4.
It puts you in the room, 6. Laurie, originality.
Should we give it, because like, it spawned 12 more, should we give it a good 6? Yeah.
Gets a 7 from me.
5 from me.
Enjoyability, 8.
2.
7. I did thoroughly enjoy
Yeah.
it.
And life-changing pastel present, Wyndham.
0.
Oh.
Give
Laurie,
it a 3.
and it gets 7 from me. Alright, so let's add them up. Okay, alright. I gave it a 71.
Jeez. I gave it a drunk influenced 22.
Oh!
So my last note is what a load of shit.
Oh, come on.
But I will fully appreciate that I was under the influence and...
Laurie, what did you
It's
get?
thoroughly enjoyable, 54.
54, goodness me.
So what does that mean?
That gives us a grand total of 147 and an average, absolute average, of 49.
49.
49.
Okay, so that puts it just, for this year, just below Dawn of the Dead, but above Blood and Satan's Claw. But for all time, it puts it just above Blood and Satan's Claw, but just below Critters, number 32.
Well, there you are.
I think
All right.
the fact that one of the notes I can read comments on how posh the bathroom tiles were compared to the rest of the bathroom.
You were
Probably
so pissed.
Well,
not in the right-
he was renovating the hotel, maybe he's done that bit.
Only that bit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So sorry.
Okie dokie, so let's work out what we're doing next month. Whose time is it to choose?
I don't know.
It's you.
I'm shaking
it's
my
me?
balls.
Okay.
It's McTash deep in the ball bag.
Well, at least that means we'll be able to choose quickly this month.
Teabagging.
We are not teabagging.
Okay.
Teabag was a character in the Pink Window, wasn't she?
He
No, Teabag had her own series called Teabag.
her.
She was also in the Pink Window.
What do you
No,
mean
she
her?
She was.
You're thinking of
She?
the witch.
That is the witch.
No, the
yes,
Grot
you're
bags.
right. Grot bags.
The
that's
Teabag sister.
Teabag. Teabag.
Right.
That's
Teabag
not
was a-
accidental, is it?
I thought Teabag was a boy.
No, Teabag was a witch, and she had a little boy who
Oh.
was running around and did her back.
thought that was
what
Teabag.
number have you got?
The house number I used to live in as a kid. 14 Westwood Road.
Number 14. Wyndham's Golden Ticket.
I knew it would be a golden ticket.
Well done, Wyndham.
I know that.
Right, so for those of you who don't know, the Golden Ticket is an opportunity for Wyndham to just choose 2 films off the bat that he wants us to review next month.
Don't be shit.
He can do whatever he wants. This is Golden
Do
Ticket.
whatever. Okay, so, and I'm going to go quickly on this.
Oh, great.
I am going to go Hellraiser
Whoa!
and Zombieland.
Oh, crikey, with,
Brilliant.
I forgot this.
I haven't seen Zombie Land, but I love Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Great.
Woody
Harrelson, yeah.
Lovely.
Okay.
How exciting. Well, that's it then. That was
So
quick.
I've wanted to do Hellraiser since we've started doing this.
Brilliant.
Because I haven't seen it since I was a lot younger.
Brilliant. Looking forward to that.
And Zombieland is a film I can watch whenever.
It is.
I can
I've never
just
seen
watch
it.
It is
I'm
a
excited
palatable-
about that.
over
yeah,
and
it's
over
palatable.
again.
Brilliant. Well, let's hope it'll reinvigorate my love of zombies.
Excellent.
All right, well, that's it. Oh, do I say anything at the end? I can never remember.
English, huh?
Oh, that's all for this week. Keep safe and keep your movie light shining bright.
Yeah, that's good,
shit,
isn't it?
isn't it?
No, it's not.
Bye then.
My
it?
car's
Cheers,
a
bye.
Jaguar.
Did the Americans not say Jaguar?
Yeah, he did say Jaguar. Did I not say that?
No, you did. He isn't.
Yeah.
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Don't be Stephen King.
Lighthouse.